how, God's shown me glimpses of love in the past, which have been incredibly powerful. One such experience was back in, when I was probably about 20 years old, and I was in my lounge room, and I'd been asked to speak at church, and I wanted to speak on obedience, and I really felt, I prayed about that with God, and I just didn't feel right about that in my spirit. And what came to me was I needed to speak on love and obedience, and I didn't want to do that. I just thought, no, that's too kind of a nice message, nice Christian message. I wanted something with a bit more oomph, and but it just didn't go away. God just kept putting that on my heart, and I felt really frustrated because I just thought I can't speak about something that I'm not passionate about, that I haven't really experienced at a significant level, and I just really didn't feel I had a revelation of love. And so I cried out to God, and I said, okay, God, if you want me to speak on love and obedience, you need to give me a revelation. And that night when I was in front of Mahida in the lounge room floor, we lived in Bronia at the time, I just remembering, I can't remember how it happened, what came before it, but all I remember is just being absolutely overwhelmed with the love of God, with the presence of God, and I was on my knees, and I just did not want this experience to stop. I just felt overwhelmed and washed with his love. And, and I remember it was really funny because the next day, all I wanted to do was obey God. I just because I loved him, not because it was like, oh, I should do that, but because I loved him. And I knew that like the first opportunity I was going to have to do this was going to be on the road, driving all the way to Bundoora, which for me was a 50-minute drive. And I struggle with driving in terms of like the road rules are annoying because I just want to be fast and I want to be competitive and I don't want to take too much time, but I grit my teeth and I kind of stick to the speed limit, but I push it a bit. But this morning, I just all of that was God. I could not wait to get on the road and stick to the speed limit so I could just love God. And I learned the relationship between love and obedience, that when I do what God says for me to do, it's because I love him. I've experienced his love. He gave me another experience of love a number of years, just probably actually a couple of years ago. We'd been in the city all day and with the kids, all 5 kids, and 2 with special needs, 2 have got an intellectual disability, 1 has autism as well. And it was really challenging coming home, and I was just full-time sitting next to my main special needs child, main in terms of that she's really full on, and just managing her behaviour, and I was exhausted by the end of the car trip. Came home, and then she and my other 2 younger kids were milling around me in the kitchen, whinging and wanting me, and I'm like, I'd held it together for the car trip. I really felt like, oh, good on you, Kirsten, you did a great job. And I'm like, get home, and it's continuing, and I'm just like, this is too much. I can't handle this anymore. I need to go upstairs. I've had enough. And that would be a normal response for me. I'm over it. I'm overwhelmed. I'm just had it. And I remember being in the kitchen, and I could feel this wrestling going on in my spirit, and it was really bizarre. I'm just standing there going, what is going on in me? Because on the one hand, I'm feeling like I've got to run away, but on the other hand, I feel this something rising up within me saying no to that, and I'm like, I don't get it. And I really felt like it was something deep within my spirit, and there was this war going on within me, and I'm going, what's going on? I'm just kind of watching it, but kind of participating in it. And then all of a sudden, this roar comes up from deep within me, and I just rush towards Summer. She's the one with autism, and I just wrapped my arms around her, gave the kids a fright, and I just said, I love you, Summer. And I just held her, and I just poured love on her. It just came out of me. It was like it just burst forth out of my spirit, out of who I really am, and it completely overwhelmed any other thoughts I'd had of running away. And I just poured love out on the other kids. And all the stress went. I didn't need to run away anymore. It was all just gone, dissipated. And these experiences of love, God has shown me love is powerful. And so like I'm like, God, you've given me glimpses of this. I want to walk in this more. Like I'm just like, how can you show me that? And then how can I go back to my normal way of doing life, which is, oh, it's frustrating knowing what's possible and then not living that. So I've been praying, God, teach me more of your love. Show me more of your love. I've been, as I spend time with him more and I receive more of his love, then that can come out of me more as well. And one of the things I was doing today was, I was on the road and I was thinking, just imagine that everyone in the cars in front of you is Jesus. Because I don't have a problem loving Jesus, but sometimes it can be hard to love people. So I'm like, Jesus says, whatever you do for the least of these, you've done for me. So I'm like, okay, this makes it easier for me. Like it's Jesus in the car in front. So I'm just like, oh man, I just want to honor that person. I'm going to hold back. I'm going to give them more space than they need because they are worthy of respect. So I'm driving to school. It was fun. It was honestly fun. And, just different attitude. And the children get in the car. I'm like, I'm loving Jesus by loving these children. What I give to them, the way I speak to them, everything how I interact with them. I can love them like I love Jesus. So this was my journey today, and I'm looking forward to journeying more in this. I want God to reveal more of his love for me. I don't want to be that clanging bell or resounding cymbal, for someone who does things without love. But let him envelop me with his love. And it's fun. I look forward to what he's teaching me tomorrow.